Siti Sarah Sutton, who was born on September 23, 1984, was a well-known Malaysian singer and actress, loved for her powerful voice and emotional songs, and she tragically died on August 9, 2021, at the age of 36, at University Kebangsaan Malaysia Medical Center in Kuala Lumpur, after a devastating battle with COVID-19 complications. What happened to her unfolded slowly and painfully, step by step. On July 25, 2021, Siti Sarah, her husband Shub Sapatu, and their 3 children all tested positive for COVID-19, believed to be caught from their domestic helper. And at first she stayed at home, pregnant and hoping her symptoms would remain mild. But within days her coughing worsened and her oxygen levels quietly began to drop into a dangerous range, a warning sign that was underestimated. By August 4th, her breathing became critical, and she was rushed to the hospital, where doctors found her lungs badly affected and her oxygen levels dangerously low, forcing them to place her into an induced coma to keep her alive. While unconscious and fighting for every breath through machines, doctors made a heartbreaking decision on August 6th to perform a 3-hour emergency C-section to save her unborn baby boy, Ayah Shafan, because her body could no longer support both lives. The baby survived, but Siti Sarah never woke up, never held him, never spoke again. As the virus continued to destroy her lungs and her organs began to fail one by one, in her final hours, her husband was allowed one last video call, where tears rolled down her cheeks, as if she could hear her family's voices despite the coma. And at 5:13 a.m., her heart stopped. Her death was the result of severe COVID-19 lung failure, delayed treatment, pregnancy-related strain on her body, and a virus that left no room for recovery. Dawn Wells, who was born on October 18, 1938, was an American actress best known for playing Mary Ann Summers on the classic television show Gilligan's Island, a role that made her deeply loved for her kindness and gentle screen presence. And she died on December 30, 2020, at the age of 82, in Los Angeles, California, after a silent but deadly battle with COVID-19. In late December 2020, Dawn was living in a residential care facility, a place meant to protect elderly residents, when the coronavirus entered and infected her fragile body, placing extreme pressure on her lungs almost immediately due to her age. At first, there were no visible emergency signs, and only days earlier she had recorded a cheerful Happy New Year video, smiling softly, unaware that her body was already beginning to fail from inside. As the virus spread through her system, COVID-19 attacked her lungs, causing inflammation and slowly blocking oxygen from reaching her blood, leaving her weak, exhausted, and struggling to breathe. Doctors closely monitored her condition as her oxygen levels dropped, a dangerous situation common in elderly COVID patients, where the body cannot recover fast enough. Inside the care facility, her breathing became more labored, her strength faded, and her immune system failed to fight back as the virus continued to damage her respiratory system. Despite medical supervision, her body reached a point where it could no longer support itself, and in the early hours of December 30th, her organs shut down quietly. Dawn Wells passed away without a public emergency call, without a final goodbye on camera, showing how COVID-19 could end a life swiftly and silently, turning what felt like a hopeful holiday season into her final moments. Lucia, an iconic Italian actress, was born on January 28, 1931, in Milan, Italy, and she tragically lost her life during one of the most frightening periods of the COVID-19 pandemic, dying on March 23, 2020, at the age of 89, in Segovia, Spain. In March 2020, as Europe was being overwhelmed by rising infections and hospitals were under extreme pressure, Lucia contracted the coronavirus, a virus that attacked her elderly body with little resistance left to fight it. What began as an infection quickly turned serious as COVID-19 spread into her lungs, causing severe pneumonia, a condition that fills the air sacs with fluid and makes breathing increasingly difficult. As her oxygen levels dropped, her body became weaker, and her breathing grew more strained with each passing hour. She was admitted to hospital as doctors attempted to stabilize her condition. But at that early stage of the pandemic, treatment options were limited, and elderly patients were especially vulnerable. The virus continued to damage her respiratory system, placing unbearable stress on her heart and organs as her body struggled to receive enough oxygen. Despite medical care, her condition continued to worsen, and her body slowly began shutting down under the weight of the infection. On March 23rd, Lucia Bosè passed away, her death later confirmed by her son, Miguel Bosè, marking another devastating loss caused by COVID-19 during its deadliest early wave. Carol Sutton, an American actress born in New Orleans, Louisiana, was widely respected for her powerful presence on stage and screen, and she tragically died on December 10, 2020, at the age of 76, at Fierro Infirmary Hospital in her hometown, after a prolonged and exhausting battle with COVID-19. In early November 2020, Carol and her daughter tested positive for the coronavirus, and at first the illness appeared manageable. But within days her condition began to change as she developed nausea, fever, and growing weakness, early signs that the virus was taking a deeper hold of her body. As the infection progressed, COVID-19 began attacking her lungs, limiting oxygen flow and placing increasing strain on her heart, forcing doctors to admit her to the hospital by November 17th as her breathing became difficult. Inside Fierro Infirmary, her condition worsened to the point where she required an oxygen mask, making even simple speech difficult, a clear sign that her lungs were struggling to keep up. Like many COVID patients, there was a brief moment where her condition appeared to stabilize, and she was moved out of intensive care, giving quiet hope that her body might recover. But the virus continued working silently, triggering complications that weakened her immune system and exhausted her organs over the following days. Her oxygen dependence increased, her strength faded, and her body could no longer repair the internal damage caused by weeks of infection. On the night of December 10th, after more than a month of illness, Carol Sutton's organs began shutting down, and she passed away in the hospital, her death officially confirmed as complications from COVID-19 by New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell. Fierro was born on February 6, 1929, and she became an American actress who gave most of her life to theater and teaching young artists. But her final chapter unfolded in silence during the most frightening phase of the coronavirus pandemic. In early April 2020, while living inside an assisted living facility in Aurora, Ohio, Lee tested positive for COVID-19, a virus that quickly overwhelmed her 91-year-old body, starting with weakness and fatigue before moving into her lungs. Day by day, her breathing became harder as the virus inflamed her airways, reducing oxygen flow and forcing her body to work harder just to survive. Simple movements became exhausting, her voice weakened, and her strength faded as her immune system failed to stop the infection. As her oxygen levels dropped, medical staff monitored her condition closely. But at her age, the damage caused by COVID-19 was too severe to reverse. Isolation rules meant family could not be present, leaving her to face her final hours without physical comfort from loved ones. On April 5, 2020, Fierro's body could no longer sustain itself, and she passed away due to serious COVID-19 complications, becoming one of many elderly victims lost quietly during that period. Her death was confirmed by close friends from the Island Theater Workshop, and there was no uncertainty about what caused it. The virus slowly shut her body down. She was known worldwide for her unforgettable role as Mrs. Kintner in the 1975 film Jaws, where she portrayed a grieving mother confronting the police chief after her young son's death, a scene remembered for its raw emotion. And away from Hollywood, she spent more than 40 years on Martha's Vineyard teaching theater to over 1,000 children, making her COVID-19 death even more painful, because it ended the life of a woman who gave comfort to others, but was denied comfort herself at the end. Linda Torres, born in 1953 in Staten Island, New York, was a beloved American reality TV personality, best known for her appearances on VH1's Big Ang and occasional cameos on Mob Wives, where her charisma and fun-loving spirit earned her the nickname Life of the Party. Tragically, Linda Torres passed away on Thursday, April 1, 2021, at the age of 67. at Staten Island University Hospital due to complications from COVID-19 and double pneumonia, following a recent battle with breast cancer. What happened to her unfolded painfully over 9 weeks. After recovering from surgery to implant a chemo port, she developed a fever and was brought back to the hospital, initially believed to be an infection. There, she tested positive for COVID-19 and was placed on a ventilator. Despite fighting hard and showing her usual strength and positivity, her body could not overcome the combined strain of the virus, pneumonia, and her recent cancer treatment. Her friend, Janine DeTore, sister of late Big Ang star Angela Raiola, recalled that Linda was always full of life, fun-loving, and strong, yet even the strongest sometimes cannot survive such a relentless illness. Surrounded by loved ones who described her as vibrant and joyful, Linda Torres quietly passed away, leaving behind her daughter Jamie, 2 grandchildren, and the memory of a woman whose laughter and warmth brightened every room she entered. Her death was the result of COVID-19 complications, double pneumonia, recent cancer surgery, and age-related vulnerability, marking the loss of a cherished friend, mother, grandmother, and reality TV personality whose life was celebrated by all who knew her.